This is Part 3, the final chapter of the Maura Murray case. In Part 1, we met Maura, a nursing student who drove north on a February night in 2004 and was never seen again. In Part 2, we went inside the investigation, the mistakes, the lost footage, the stalled inquiry, the father who never gave up. In this part, we answer the hardest question of all. What actually happened to Maura Murray? Spoiler, nobody knows. But today we're going to go through every serious theory, evidence by evidence, so that by the end, you can decide for yourself what you believe. Theory 1. She walked into the woods and died of exposure. This is the theory most favored by the official investigation, and it's important to understand why. Maura had alcohol in her system. She had just been in a car crash. She may have panicked at the thought of a second DUI. She'd already had one in 2003, and another would have been devastating for her nursing career. The impulse to run in that moment is psychologically understandable. The temperature that night dropped below freezing. The woods around Route 112 are dense, dark, and disorienting. Without proper clothing, without a phone signal, without a direction, a person can succumb to hypothermia in hours. The problem with this theory is simple. Bodies are found. Not always quickly, but eventually. 20 years have passed. Hunters, hikers, search teams have covered that terrain repeatedly. If Maura's remains were in those woods, the probability that nothing has surfaced in 2 decades is low. Not impossible, but low. Theory 2. Someone picked her up, and something went wrong. There is a witness, a man who has asked to remain anonymous, who claims to have seen a man near Maura's car in the window between Butch Atwood's call and the police arriving. This account has been analyzed obsessively. Some researchers believe it, some are skeptical. It has never been confirmed by another witness. It has never been disproven. Route 112 was quiet that February night, but it wasn't empty. A vehicle could have stopped. A stranger could have offered help. If Maura, scared, cold, possibly impaired, accepted a ride from the wrong person, she would have been gone before the first police cruiser turned onto that road. This theory requires someone to have stayed silent for 20 years, which happens. It happens more than we like to think. Theory 3. She staged her disappearance. This is the theory that divides people most sharply, and I want to be honest with you about why. The evidence for it is real. The $280 cash, the packed bag, the false email about a death in the family, the MapQuest searches for remote areas, the 27-minute phone call to Billy that neither of them has ever fully explained. These are not the actions of someone who stumbled into a crisis. They look, methodically, like preparation. There are also unconfirmed sightings. A woman matching Maura's description seen at a gas station in a different state weeks after her disappearance. Not confirmed, not definitively debunked. The counter-argument is the one that stops most people cold. Fred Murray. Maura loved her father. By every account, from friends, family, and people who knew them both. Their bond was real. If Maura chose to disappear, she watched her father drive those roads for 20 years. She watched him spend the rest of his life searching for her. She watched him die without an answer. Could someone who loved their father that deeply do that to him? I don't know, and I don't think anyone does. Theory 4. A predator was operating in that area. Researchers who have spent years on this case have noted other disappearances in the broader region during the early 2000s. No definitive link to Maura's case has ever been established. A man named Alonzo Colon was investigated and cleared. No suspect has ever been charged in connection with her disappearance. This theory cannot be proven with available evidence. It also cannot be dismissed. And that, in many ways, is the most unsettling thing about it. The Maura Murray case is not just a cold case, it is a phenomenon. The Reddit community dedicated to it has tens of thousands of members. There have been podcasts, books, documentary films, and countless YouTube videos. Every February, on the anniversary of her disappearance, the case resurfaces across social media with fresh eyes and fresh theories. The internet kept this case alive when the official investigation had gone quiet. That matters. Cases go cold when people stop looking. The Maura Murray case never fully went cold because people never stopped looking. Maura's family has had a complicated relationship with all of it. At times, Fred Murray welcomed the attention. At times, the endless speculation, the theories that treat Maura as a puzzle rather than a person, caused real pain. If you're watching this, you're part of that community now. And the best thing any of us can do is remember what's at the center of it. A young woman who deserved a different ending. There is one thing I haven't told you yet. Something that happened in 2024. Fred Murray, the father who spent 20 years driving those New Hampshire roads, putting up billboards, hiring investigators, refusing to let his daughter be forgotten, died in September 2024. He died without knowing what happened to Maura. I don't have a tidy ending for this story. Nobody does. The case is officially still open. The New Hampshire State Police have never closed it. If you have information, any information, the cold case tip line is 1-800-852-3411. 20 years is a long time. But somebody knows something. Now, what do you think happened to Maura Murray? Drop your theory in the comments. Which of the 4 theories makes the most sense to you? Is there a detail we missed? A connection no one has made? I read every comment on every video. This community has found things that investigators missed before. It could happen again. If this series added something to your understanding of this case, subscribe. Next week we're covering a case that starts with a family of 5 who vanished from their California home. Their truck was found at the Mexican border, $32,000 in cash inside, the family dog, and a photograph of themselves that no one can explain. No note, no goodbye, no answers. That's next week. For now, thank you for watching all 3 parts, and wherever Maura Murray is tonight, I hope she's at peace.